all of you to this particular career that you have chosen, to become insurance professionals. So before that, you need to have some knowledge about basics of insurance practice. And so this, I'll give you an introduction about the practice that is usually followed. So this webinar would help you get an understanding about the insurance practices, like what are the kinds of policies that are being issued, means the categories of business, what is a contract, what is the specialty of an insurance contract, what are the documents that you need to have, before you transact business, and what are the usual common policies that are being issued, in the market, and what is the type of claim settlement, what is expected of you in the event of a claim. All this will be covered in this overview. Okay, they are totally two different kinds of policies. So now as far as non-life is concerned, properties are being covered. Even human life is also being covered for medical expenses. This kind of things are there. So we call it life and non-life. Now we will focus upon non-life insurance specification. What are the non-life insurance? We have just a few examples will be seen in this slide. Like a property. Property can be covered against fire insurance. There can be loss in the event of a loss. The business can be put into loss. They may not be able to do the production. So business interruption. Property against fire, business interruption as a result of fire. That can also be covered. Then the customer's safety. So he should not suffer a loss, right? So to put him back into the same position, we take care of his safety also. Then engineering. Engineering, basically, contractors all risk, buildings, bridges that are being constructed, all these come under engineering insurance. Then security. Security, basically, they are fidelity guarantee, that kind of bonds, covering against the dishonesty of an employee, the loss suffered by the employer. This kind of policies are being covered in security insurance. Then comes liability. Liability insurance, it is every person is liable to another third party. Even case, for example, a vehicle hits against another vehicle, the rider of the vehicle suffers, some injuries, or he dies in the accident. So the owner of the vehicle is liable to pay compensation to the aggrieved victim. So that loss suffered by him, which he has to pay to the insured, will be taken care of by insurance company in the event of such an event. This is one example of liability. There are so many other things like product liability, professional indemnity. Professional indemnity is, for example, professionals like doctors, architects, all such people can be covered under liability insurance because they are working on another person. Any mistake from their end can, affect the person whom they have operated upon, for example. So this kind of policies can be covered in liability insurance. This is a broad overview. Then we have got so many other policies, but we'll touch upon the basics. Before that, you need to know what is an insurance contract. How is it different from normal contract? Insurance contract is an agreement. Okay, it is between the insurer, that is the first part, the insurance company. So the insurance company will charge some premium for covering the insured property. Insured is the owner of the property, the other party to the contract. So in the event of a loss, so some amount of compensation will be paid to the insured in the event of a loss. You understood? Like insurance contract is an agreement between two parties. One is the insurance company and the insured. Insured is the owner of the property. So for covering this property against any loss or damage, he has to pay some premium. It depends upon the kind of policies, the risk exposure, or such things. We'll not go into the intricacies right now. Okay. Then, so we pay a premium. So in the event of tomorrow a fire or a theft occurs, so he will definitely make a claim. So that claim compensation will be paid when such an event occurs. This is a contract which we enter into with the insured. You know the elements of a normal contract. Every contract has got offer. So there's been offer from the one person that I offer to cover you against so many things. So, once the insurer or the second party, he gives his acceptance. Okay, I agree for this. So there has to be an offer and acceptance. Two parties are involved. So for covering this, as I told you before, there has to be some premium. It's called consideration. Or acceptor is a person who accepts the terms and conditions given by the offerer, right? So this is what it. And anything and everything cannot be covered. It has to be legally recognized. So, and whatever they're covering is also for, accepted by the legal authorities, right? So there has to be legality of the contract. And one more thing is, it has to be by a free will. There should not be any force, threat, or kind of under influence of intoxication. Such kind of things and all should not be in the contract. So this is also one of the elements of an insurance contract. And the persons to the contract, they should have the capacity to pay the premium. Age is also important. Minors cannot enter into a contract. So such kind of things all has to be complied with for any contract to be can be legally accepted. Then there should be an intention to create it. So once there's an offer and acceptance, the insured and the insurer, between the insured and the insurer, it has to create a legal relationship. Nothing personal should be involved in that. It's purely a legal relationship should be the intention when you enter into a contract. And of course, fraud, dishonesty, or this kind of wrongdoings, there should not be no such intention. For example, the person wants just to claim insurance, he may manipulate a loss. So that kind of intentions should not be in a contract for it to be accepted. So even if one of these conditions, like as I told you, offer and acceptance should be there, consideration should be there in the form of a premium, it should be legally accepted, there should be a free will, there should not be any kind of force, threat, etc. They should be capable of entering into a contract, then they should create a legal relationship, and there should not be any kind of wrongdoings in the claim. So even if one of these conditions are not met with, it will make the contract void or voidable or unenforceable, which means it cannot be considered in the event of a claim. It's not legally valid. Now, how are insurance contracts different from normal contract? I told you the normal contract, what all are there. Now, insurance contract, what do we cover? In the event of a loss, loss cannot be seen as such. It's subsequently what is damaged is only seen. But, it is intangible. It cannot be seen. So it does not deal with physical sale or purchase. For example, you buy a property or a building, it is seen for you, so you can make the payment. Here, there's no physical property is not seen. So that kind of loss will be covered against earthquake, fire, in the event of a fire, earthquake, flood. This kind of things are done only after it occurs. You can see its aftermath. But when it occurs, you just can't see it, right? So insurance contract is different in that way. It does not deal with physical sale or purchase. Then the true facts of the risk are better known to the proposer than to the insurer. So the insured is bound to disclose all material facts about the proposed risk. So he wants to cover his property. Suppose A wants to cover his property. B is the insurer. B does not know anything about the property that is being covered, nor does he know about the moral hazard involved or the background of the proposer. Nothing is known. But this A is a proposer. Okay, so he knows fully about his product, his industry, all those things. He knows he's in and out. So he is duty bound to disclose all the facts that are known to him in the proposal that is being submitted by him to the insurer. So here the doctrine of utmost good faith plays a very major role. So the insurance company disposes himself to the insured in the utmost good faith that he will disclose all the facts known to him for the insurer to accept the proposal. Now we'll go to the structure of an insurance policy. So offer is there, acceptance is there, consideration premium has been paid. So next step is we have to issue the insurance policy. So insurance policy, see, you all are beginners. So you need to know the basics, what all are required for you to transact business. So this is what we'll be, I'll just tell you a briefing about the structure of an insurance policy. It has got a heading. Of course, any policy, anywhere you go, the company's name will be there, their address, contact details will be there. Similarly, even insurance policy, you have got a heading. Heading will be the name and address, contact details of the insurer. Then preamble, comes a preamble. It contains a proposal form. Then for what amount he is covered, that is called the sum insured. The property can be covered for 10 lakhs, 5 crores, or whatever he'll be able to assess the value of the property. So that will be the sum insured. So based on the sum insured, and the risk exposure, etc., there's a premium will be correct. That's what I told that consideration. So that is a premium. So once the premium is paid, then the cover that insurer will provide as agreed. That will also come in the preamble. So what is the cover that he's offering? Means a property, it's a full description of the property and all this should come in the preamble. Then names of parties to the contract. Who are the names of parties to the contract? For example, insurer is another party. Next comes the insured. Apart from insured may be an employer also. So he'll have employees under him. For example, hospitals, they'll have doctors, staff, nurses, and all. So similarly, they should name all the parties to the contract. That will come out in the preamble. Then, after all this, comes a signature. Signature of an authorized official. He should be authorized by the company to sign the policy. Then comes the insurance operative clause. Operative clause should be very clear. Operative clause gives what exactly is covered in the policy, what exactly is covered. It should be very, very crystal clear without giving room to any ambiguity. For example, you just can't tell, in the event of a flood, this is covered. That is, not very precise. It's just flood. A flood can mean, inundation, tornado, such kind of things. So all this has to be specified. Otherwise, tomorrow there will be an ambiguity and the claim will be under question in the event of such an occurrence. So everything has to be very clearly mentioned in the operation. All these, once again, exceptions. There will be exclusions under the policy. Say, once you give the coverage, you also should specify what is not covered in the policy. Both should be very clear in the contract, right? So, for example, war, allied perils, nuclear perils, there are certain risks that is, connected to the property that is being insured, right? Then comes conditions. Conditions, you should be, what are the conditions that is expected from the insured as well as the insurer for, throughout the period of the contract. It starts from the day we issue the policy till the expiry of the policy. Certain conditions are expected from the insurer as well as the insured. Like in the event of a claim, he has to give immediate notice of the claim or within 24 hours. This all should be set out. In case that is not done, then we can always tell the claim is not payable because he has not complied with the condition that is expected from him, from the insured. Then any changes, material changes in the risk that is being covered, the insured is bound to immediately declare it to the company so that the necessary changes can be made. Otherwise, tomorrow when there's a claim. So this kind of so many conditions are being, enumerated in the policy, which has to be complied with throughout the policy period. Next comes a policy schedule. So in the schedule, it gives the insurance title. That's the same way you have a company. It need not be the insurance name as such. Company or that's what we call it, the insurance title. Nature of business. Then it's a, period of policy, premium, what are the limits of liability. Means, for example, in the professional indemnity policies, I told you at that time, liability. There may be a upper limit, lower limit, loss exceeds 1 lakh, but it is within 10 lakhs, then we can, that's the limit, upper limit and lower limit. This kind of limits should be specified in the policy schedule. And of course, policy number for easy identification of the policy details. So all these details are being brought out in the policy schedule. How do you interpret a policy? What is a policy? So it is a legal document. I also told you it has to be, legality has to be there, it should be enforceable in the court of law. So in case there's any dispute between the policy holder as well as the insurance company, it will be as per the court's directions, court's decisions. So insurance policy has to be legally viable, should not, should be enforceable in the court of law. And in case of any dispute regarding the payment of the claim, he's not satisfied with the amount of claim that is being compensated, or in case insurance company denies a claim, so it insured has not in agreement with that. So all these kinds of difference disputes between the policy holder and the insurer, the policy will be as per the interpretation by the court. Then insurance responsibility. As I told you, some conditions are there. Both is expected from both the insurer as well as insured. Parties to a contract, insurer's responsibility. He must make their intentions clear in the contract. As I told you, the what is covered, what is not covered, description of the property, everything should be clear cut, crystal clear. It should not give room to any kind of ambiguity. It should be very, very specific. And it is the insurer's responsibility to make sure the terms and conditions are certain and enforceable. So whatever conditions are being imposed in the policy, it should be legally enforceable. Now, sometimes what happens is we have generally all policies are printed format only. Sometimes there can be, kind of correction in the policy. So they just strike off that one and put it in writing. Such and such thing is covered. Is not may become is, so that not is added in pen. Okay, this kind of written words are there. And tomorrow, when there's a conflict, when there's a difference, in the event of a loss, so then the greater will have to consider whatever is being written is to be accepted, which means it will override the printed words in the policy. The written words will have more effect than printed words. This is only how you have to interpret a policy. In the event of a claim, or even during the period of policy, when there's certain kind of difference, this all has to be understood. Now, what is the principle of construction of a policy? How do you design a policy? So the construction of a policy is a matter to be decided by the court, where the court has already decided the meaning of words used on insurance policy. The doctrine of precedent has to be applied. For example, there's a particular laws that has occurred. Now, it is not a new kind of thing. So when there's a difference in opinion, the court will take the precedence. In case such a law had earlier occurred, what action had been taken, the same will apply to this. So it will go by the precedent. The doctrine of precedent will be applied. Precedence is before. Okay. And principal rules of construction. So where a clause framed in general terms and capable of a wider significance is followed by another clause of narrower significance, the second clause is to be regarded as explanatory of the first and limiting its application accordingly. So this is a rule. What happens is there will be the terms and conditions of a policy is in general terms, and followed by it as it only special exclusions. So that's a narrower policy condition which is being applied. So in the event of a loss, this will apply. It is taken as explanatory to the earlier conditions that are being applied. Okay. Now, policy is there, proposal is there. Now this policy has been issued where something has not been mentioned in the policy, which is specified in the proposal form. He has given the details in the proposal form, that's not incorporated in the policy. So this kind of inconsistencies, such a situation arises, then the proposal or the earlier documents is held as true intention of the parties in the absence of valid evidence to the contrary. Now, the same thing will continue. The same proposal is there. Proposal has specified whatever risks are covered, and policy has not touched upon that particular aspect, which is important to the policy. So when there's this kind of inconsistency, what is mentioned in the proposal will hold good and will be accepted. But if the policy means insurance company is able to provide a valid evidence, no, he has not disclosed this particular thing even in the proposal form, then we can always deny the claim. This is what is the so policy or proposal forms the basis of any document. From here only the claim, whether it's payable, not payable, everything will come out from that. It's a base document, basic document. Now, as I told you, there can be some material alterations in the risk. Market material alterations relevant to the risk. There may be a change in address, or the risk exposure can be more, it can be less. So this kind of changes or amendments should be invariably endorsement. Such a thing is noted. In case any additional premium has to be paid, he has to pay. That will also be marked in the endorsement. So this is called policy endorsement. So what happens now? We have issued the policy. We have understood what is the written word, printed words, policy, proposal, endorsement, etc. Now, it's as I told you, it's a for a period. Most of the policies are for a period of 1 year. Non-life insurance is for a period of 1 year. Okay. So then, after the expiry of 1 year, he has to renew the policy, right? So that is given by way of a renewal document. Each company has got different format for a renewal document, but most probably all the policies will contain the name and address of the insured, his policy number. Nowadays, it's a contact number, mail ID, mobile number. All these are nowadays also mandatory in some companies. They have to invariably, because when there's a nowadays, this kind of renewal document also goes by way of messages to the insured. Your policy is due for renewal. You have to pay for such and such a by such and such a date, this much of premium. All these are common. No advancement in technologies has given rise to this kind of digitalized renewal reminders for the policy to be renewed. So earlier it was that, this all has to be, it was given in the form of a printed format. But nowadays it is all digitalized, technology has advanced so much. And so then it goes by way of mail, and even now they can also make payment of premium online. They don't have to go to the insurance company or the agent to pay the premium. So this is a renewal. So what is it? Usually a format contains all these: name and address, policy number, then contact information of the insurer, agent, broker. And so in case you have got any queries or any changes, that can be consulted with the insurer, agent, or broker. So all the details, his license number, everything should be mentioned in the renewal notice. Then address of the client. Then what's the period of insurance. This is the renewal document. But nowadays, as I told you, days have changed. Technology has advanced so much. They send an SMS. This policy is coming up for renewal, pay such and such a premium. He can sit at his place itself and do the renewal. Now, insurance proposal form and certificate. Certificate of insurance is generally issued for certain policies, like vehicle insurance, marine policy. The certain policies we issue the certificate. Generally, what does it say? One certificate is being issued. You must be knowing vehicle insurance. Earlier days, there was a certificate separately. Small card used to be issued. Nowadays, it's all form, totally computerized. So it proves the existence of the cover and policy of insurance. It is also required by whenever, on the way the traffic signal, your police constable asks for the policy under the vehicle documents, they can just submit the certificate. That is the proof of coverage of the vehicle and the policy of insurance. So it is required by the registration authorities and the police. What does it usually contain apart from the period of insurance, policy number? It gives a effective date. That's what I told you, period of insurance. Then details of the insured. What is his name, address, whether it tallies with the RC book, all those they'll check. And details of the insured, his name, address, all those. And who can drive the vehicle? This is particularly referred to vehicle insurance, motor insurance. Who can drive the vehicle? Whether he is authorized to drive. For example, a two-wheeler rider will have a DL authorized to drive only motorcycle with or without gear. He cannot drive a bus or a car. He has to have a specific license for that. So who that will be specified in the certificate of policy. Who can drive the vehicle? Authorized to drive motorcycle with or without gear. That will be specified in the certificate. Details of the vehicle. What vehicle is being covered? Whether it's a private car, LMV, or commercial vehicle or private vehicle, two-wheeler, or name, the registration number, make, cubic capacity, which zone, etc. will be enumerated in the details of the vehicle. And for what purposes he is to use. As I told you, proposal form is a basis of the document. Now you all are beginners to the insurance industry, so you should know when you go to give a proposal form to the proposer, what is expected from the proposal form you should know, and you should ensure that he also fills in all the required details invariably. So what is there in a proposal form? Generally, there are three different sets. One is a normal questions, generic questions, name, address, his website, contact information, phone number, mail ID, what is his business, all those has to be specified. Apart from this, we also have to know who is being covered, what is his past insurance history, whether he had taken any policy before, or whether it had been declined by the insurance company, if so, for what reason. So we know about his, moral hazard, whether he is a safe risk to cover or not. Then the claims experience also, whether he's a frequent person, whether he's a person who makes frequent claims, or is he a very responsible insured, taking care of his property, not to get into a loss as much as possible. Then any court cases are pending against him, what is the kind, all this has to be known. So these are the normal questions which are being enumerated in the proposal form, which is expected to be filled in by the proposer. It is followed by a declaration by the insured, by the proposer, that whatever he has declared above is true to the best of his knowledge, and he is that's such a declaration. In case tomorrow anything has to be found, I will abide with whatever decision has been, whatever decision has been taken by the insurance company. This kind of a normal declaration is there, so that will be signed by the insured proposer. It is still a proposer, not yet a insured. It becomes an issued only after the policy is issued, only after the premium is paid and the policy is issued. These are the generic questions. Now, insurance specific, that will be illustrated from the proposal form. That is the exposure. What is the risk that we are covering? He has to give the details of the manufacturing activity, or all such details. He has to give what he intends to cover. Then the policy limit. Limit, once again, as I told you, sum insured. Then any other specific questions related to that particular industry. Now, as I told you, there might be specialized factories or industries, which there are certain risks which is very much specific to that particular industry alone. So such questions will be elicited from the proposal form. Any other special questions, questionnaire is also called for. For example, in contractors all risk, then a specific questionnaire liability also we ask about. There's a separate format for that. Then for marine covers also. Apart from this, even in health insurance, when we issue Mediclaim insurance also, there's a special questionnaire from which is to be filled in by the doctor. They'll give to know about his health condition, whether he has got any, heart problem or BP, cholesterol, diabetes, all this, to know about his medical history. We also ask for a special questionnaire from the consulting doctor. Okay. So these are the things that is being formed in a special questionnaire. Now comes an insurance claim form. So proposal is issued, policy is issued, everything is accepted. It's run for a period of 1 year. During the currency of the policy, there is a loss. Loss means any kind of cover. Perils. Perils means there dangers exposed. Like, for example, fire occurs or flood occurs. Something, any calamity occurs, or any normal risk, there's a theft. Depending upon the kind of policy which is issued, the insured will make a claim against the insurance company. So I have suffered this kind of a loss. So please pay me the compensation. Okay. So what the insurance company will do? they'll accept his intimation, subsequent to which a claim form is being given to the insured. So once the claim form is given, he has to fill in the details of the loss, how it occurred, where it occurred, and all such things should be. The format varies depending upon the class of insurance. Basic details are the same: name, address, mobile number, etc. But regarding the loss, how it occurred, when it occurred, where it occurred, who is a witness, all such things should be specified in the claim form by the insured. In the change of material alterations in the risk done by way of noted by way of an endorsement. Then I also detail about claim form, proposal form, what is expected, claim form, what is expected. So we had given a broader view about the contract, insurance contract. Now, at the outset, I told about the specialized categories of insurance, special categories of insurance, property, liability, and all those things. So you might be wondering, what is this property insurance? So we'll just have a broad outline about this. So for property insurance, what are the types of policies that are being issued under property insurance? Basically, it's against fire policies issued. So different types of policies are being issued under property. It can be also for a residence. It can be also for small factories or godowns. It can also be for huge industries. So depending upon the needs of the insured, the policies have been designed. So we have got floater policy, declaration policy, reinstatement value policy, and industrial all risk. Basically, these are the things which are being covered. Once again, it's also customized to the insured's needs. Now, floater policy. What is a floater policy? One, the insured, he has got several godowns within the same city or within different cities, small places. But the sum insured, for example, is 10 lakhs. In one godown is for 5 lakhs, another godown 8 lakhs. So he might be having 10 or 12 godowns. It's not possible to list all the godowns in one policy. He can take a small, specific float, one sum insured, which he expects will be the highest sum insured, the risk that he'll be exposed to. 10 lakhs is his limit. He feels I will not take a loss more than 10 lakhs. So he can select one sum insured that will be floated across all the godowns. The maximum is 10 lakhs. Means tomorrow there's a loss in this godown A, which is for 10 lakhs. It's covered to that extent. Even 2 lakhs is covered, 5 lakhs, lower limit is also covered. So this is a floater policy where one highest sum insured value of stocks at one particular time of during the month that is exposed to will be covered across all the godowns. All the godowns are listed. One single sum insured is being specified. Then comes declaration policy. This I told, he can float it across various godowns, but there will be frequent fluctuations in the value of stocks on a daily basis. It keeps on varying. It's not possible for him to assess at any one point of time what will be my exposure to the risk. He's not able to declare. So he would like to take a declaration policy. He'll declare it on a periodic interval. What will be the sum insured? Maybe monthly he can do. He can declare the value of stocks that had been held by him during the month. Or, he can also do it fortnightly, quarterly. So depending upon the fluctuation on stocks, he can decide this is a declaration policy. Then comes this is for stocks, floater and declaration policies for stocks and stock contract. Okay. Then comes reinstatement value policy. So in the event of a loss, the amount payable will be the cost of reinstating the property of the same kind, same type. Now, due to technological advancements, today what is there is not available tomorrow. But insurance company, we will ensure that he is being paid the cost of bringing back the property which has suffered a loss to the cost of reinstating the property of the same kind or type by new property. Also, what will be the amount he is likely to pay? That will be paid by the insurance company, the cost. So, but once again, this is issued only for building, plant, and machinery. It is not issued for stocks because stocks keep on varying. It's not possible to replace, right? Logical. So, this is what is reinstatement policy. Then huge industries, as I told you, they have got specialized needs. So it has to be customized also. It's a totally packaged policy required by the industry, customized to his needs. Since it's a huge industry, there's a lower limit. It has to be minimum 50 crores to issue this kind of a policy. 50 crores and above can be issued industrial all risk policy. It's applicable for both manufacturing and storage facilities. One is what we saw is property insurance, that is fire. Marine policy. Actually, marine policy is the first policy that was being issued ages back. It started from, Lloyd's at London, where the first marine policies were being issued. After that, only so many advancements came and so many changes and new types of policies have been designed. But oldest policy which was issued is only marine transit policy. Marine don't refer only to ships and also it also includes inland transit, road transit, railways, all those things. So we'll look into the types of marine policies that are being issued. We have got a specific policy. A specific policy is only for one consignment for that particular voyage. Means for only one property, he's just carrying one huge consignment. Only for that transit from the point A to point B. Only for that transit he wants a cover. So we issue only for that transit. Mode of transport, all these details are being asked for. What is the consignment? Premium will be paid. So only for that policy is valid only for that period, for that particular voyage. Voyage means journey, transit. So this is specific policy. Then we have got even open policy. Open policy is a floating policy issued to take care of all shipment coming within its scope. Means all the shipments, open policies are just open, it's covering all the shipments are made by the insured that he has declared at the time of insurance. This kind of shipments will be going. All the shipments will be covered. As and when one shipment is being sent, the certificate is being issued that this particular consignment left on this date, will reach on this date. This is the consignment. So certificates will be issued. This is the open policy. Duty. So for any, imports or exports, that's a duty charged. So we had to pay the cost of duty for imports. So we also issue duty insurance policy. Special storage risk policy. So now the goods have arrived. Maybe at the carriers go down, or the port or the railway premises, it has arrived. So policy terminates there. So the insured takes some time to clear and take delivery of the consignment. So that time it will be stored in the godown or in the railway premises, depending upon the kind of place where it is being stored. So this is a special storage risk. This can be covered. The time between the consignment arrives at the godown and the time taken by the insured to take delivery of the consignment. This is a special storage risk covered after termination only when there's a corresponding open policy or a special declaration policy. He should have a basic cover. That's what I told you. Open cover and a special declaration policy. Declaration policy, I told you he has to declare timely the consignments. So this is subject to open cover or special declaration policy. Special storage risk can be issued. Then comes annual policy. Annual policy, generally, the sum insured refers to the turnover of the company. It's given only to huge companies with a good insurance bag, good moral hazard. They are not upon only making claims. They don't have to declare timely the value of the consignment. So it covers all the goods that are in transit. They don't have to declare each and every time, but subject to the turnover of the company. So this is an annual policy which are not under contract of sale. So, for example, vehicles will be transited from one place to another. So he is not able for him to, declare each and every vehicle. So this is total consignment which is being covered. This kind of consignments go on through the year for, that's his business. So in such cases, it covers goods in transit which are under contract of sale for 12 months. I would like to relate one thing in this annual policy. I told you I am an insurance company employee, taken VRS, but I was also, one of my postings, I was handling TVS claims. TVS Insurance Company. So for them, we had issued this kind of an annual policy. Turnover was covered. They don't have to declare every time whatever is the consignment. When a loss occurs, they'll tell this consignment has been. It has to come within the 12 months period. So this kind of losses occurred. So we used to process a claim. So the policy is terminated, open policy or declaration policy. So in that case, it is waiting for the clearance by the consignee, means by the insured. And during this period, due to the certain situations in the surroundings, the value of the goods may increase. Tomorrow, if there's a loss, we always see specific restricted to the sum insured. But he says it has increased due to the existing surroundings. So in case he has taken this kind of increased value policy, it would take care of the increase in the goods value, right? So this kinds of specialized policies are being issued in marine. Specific policy, open policy, duty policy, special storage risk, annual policy, and increased value insurance. Now, as I told you, so claims. Once again, we'll come back to the claims. As I told you, once a loss occurs, it is the duty of the insured to immediately intimate the loss. Upon receiving of intimation, insurance company will issue a claim form. What are the details elicited in the claim form? I have given. So the insured has to declare what is the extent of loss. Once again, suppose it is a vehicle. It is toppled by a hillside. Total loss. Completely destroyed. It is beyond any kind of repairs. That is called total loss. In such cases, what happens? Full insured value, whatever he has insured it for, will be fully reimbursed to the to the insured. But there's a subject to a policy excess. Every policy usually has got an excess which the insured has to bear. For example, if he is covered for 10,000, policy has got an excess of 500. So total loss is this. So 10,000 less 500, which is a policy excess, 9,500 will be paid to the insured for the total loss. Any policy, whether total loss or partial or small losses, every policy will have to be, there will be a policy excess which will be applied. Then comes particular average. Particular average is generally applies to marine insurance. It is called in other insurances partial loss. Partially it is lost. So that part alone which needs to be replaced or in a repair will be applied, and the asset loss will be assessed, and then a final amount will be arrived at. That is a partial loss. And there's also general average that also comes only in marine insurance. Generally, general average is which is covered by the General Average Act. It is very specific coverage which will not be covered here because that's a special subject itself on this general average. So we'll not go on that. Just get a broad view about the types of claims which is being faced by all. Salvage loss. Salvage loss, once again, the vehicle is destroyed, but at the same time, it has got some value. For example, once again, taking the same example, 10,000 is the salvage extent of loss. But the wreck, that is whatever remains of the particular property or whatever of the vehicle is left out, it may fetch around, may say 5,000 may fetch. So we'll pay the difference. So 5,000 can be recovered from the salvage, which will be which will be disposed of. Remaining 5,000 we will pay less policy excess. This is salvage loss claim, which is a difference between the insured value and net process of sale. Then comes sue and labor charge. It is the reimbursement of expenses incurred, value and net proceeds of sale. Sue and labor charges. It is any expenses incurred by the insured for the net proceeds of the sale. Labor charges. Sue and labor charges is basically called, even this is also in marine insurance, basically it's called sue and labor charges. Net proceeds of the sale will be reimbursed by the other. Now, for assessment of all these losses, we require professionals, right? For example, there's a business interruption, we require the role of a chartered accountant. If in case it's a marine insurance, we require a role of in case of a property, we require an engineer's opinion. This kind, in case it's a medical claim, we require a doctor's opinion. So we have got we have to pay for them also, no, for the extra charges that will be incurred. So these are we pay for all these reimbursement. For example, it's a vehicle claim, we appoint a surveyor. He's an automobile engineer generally. He's engaged to assess the claims in case of vehicle insurance. So the survey fees, professional charges, and the expenses incurred, all this will be reimbursed. So we pay for the reimbursement of survey fees, settling agents in case of marine insurance, architect's fees, in case of interior decoration kind of office. This kind of all then investigation fee in the event of a theft of a vehicle or theft of property. We require investigators, professionals. So all these expenses will be paid. This is which forms part of the claims. So this is a type of claims. So I hope all the information that I have shared here has been of great help to you. So in case you require further assistance, you can always visit www.iracoaching.com. So once again, thank all of you for attending the session. Wish you a successful career in insurance. All the best.